This song I wrote after my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer about 2 years ago. And just, my mom's my best friend. She's everything to me and we're super close. So it was devastating to find that out. But I was by her side through it all. And thankfully, we got through it. You know, she went through surgery and treatment and everything. But like I said, she made it through. And I wanted to write a song that I could express what I was feeling and just all the emotions, but also what she was feeling and just everything that we went through. So I was in the studio with Donnie and, you know, I told him everything. He knew, of course, and we just wrote and came up with this beautiful song that I was so thankful I was able to make. And I surprised my mom with it, which was even more meaningful. And I played it for her. I got her reaction to it. It means everything to me that I could do that for her. And we filmed a music video and she was in it, and you see a reaction. And it's just, for me, during these challenging times and the struggles, is like, it makes it all worth it, the music, because like, I feel like when I'm working on my music and I'm in the studio, I could be going through stuff, like whether it be me writing about it or just recording music or writing music, it's what I love to do. So it just pushes me through it all. That was when I knew that was music. This is what I wanted, you know?
Yeah, so you were basically starstruck at that moment, how long ago was that first show?
Wow, that's gotta be like, I don't know, it's gotta be like probably 7 years ago, 7 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
It's crazy to think about. But
that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's been so many amazing shows that I've performed at. I've performed in Times Square, I've performed a lot of places, and they're all so meaningful. But like I said, just that first performance, just that feeling of being up on stage was everything.
Sure.
Sammy, can you talk about the importance of mindfulness in balance in your journey as a musician?
Yeah, I think, you know, in this industry, it's hard to get caught up in everything and just the struggles, and, you know, it's very competitive. But I think for me, I stay true to myself and I'm mindful of the people around me and the people that are doing the same things as myself, you know, and I always try to support other people, and because I want the same thing back, you know, and I just try to be mindful of everybody's feelings and their music, and I support everybody, yeah, just like I would want to be.
Welcome to the Apex Lifestyles Podcast. I'm your host, Bob GDMD, and I'm here as always with my co-host.
That is me. What's going on today, Bob?
Hey, you know what? We got another episode that we're recording. I think it's number 37.
37 it is.
37 episodes. Can you imagine that?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And 36 just launched today.
Oh,
it's moving.
Yeah, what an incredible guest that was, and her fan base is just so happy that she's, you know, come out of the shadows for a while after 8 or 9 years out of being away, and then she's come back in. So
Mia Carlson's making moves.
She's making moves.
It's right from Sweden.
Yeah, it's been amazing, and I think we have a couple more guests from Sweden. You know, the rock people love us over there.
It's good.
You know, we're building the brand over there. We were joking the other day. We're at the. Should we even tell them where we were yesterday?
You have to tell them, because I think we're the only people there.
Yeah, right.
And our guest is going to get a good laugh because not familiar with this area maybe. We're at Patriots yesterday, and usually the Patriots sell out 60,000 some odd people.
Yeah,
it's pretty light.
It felt like it was maybe 25,000 yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you know, you have a 16-3 team who's better at losing than a 3-16.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And then Gerard Mayo lost his job like minutes after the game was done. But yeah, we had a good time living at the Apex out there, right?
Absolutely.
It was fun. But yeah, Dennis, I mean, we have another incredible guest, man.
I'm really excited about this guest. Formerly known as Sammy Ray, rebranded, now is known as Sammy Murciano, right out of, I want to make sure I get that right, straight out of Long Island. The connection here, one of our first guests on the show was Donnie Klang, who was an absolutely amazing guest, co-owner, producer of Loft Studio with Matt Laporte, who they manage and they produce. Sammy and I reached out to Donnie, and he was very quick to get back to me, and I said, do you have a guest? And he said, Sammy's the guest. So Sammy, thank you for taking your time with us today. How are you?
First, thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
And welcome to the show, Sammy.
Thank
you. Great to meet you on the computer.
Me too.
Sammy, it is a pleasure to have you, and we're going to come right out of the gates, because I already, one of the most powerful things I've learned is the depth that you put behind your music. And I want to talk about a project that you did called More For You. Okay? Do you want to talk about More For You, why you did it, and just the power of that song and the video and everything?
Yeah, so More For You is my most meaningful song. This song I wrote after my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer about 2 years ago. And just, my mom's my best friend. She's everything to me and we're super close. So it was devastating to find that out. But I was by her side through it all. And thankfully we got through it. You know, she went through surgery and treatment and everything. But like I said, she made it through. And I wanted to write a song that I could express what I was feeling and just all the emotions, but also what she was feeling and just everything that we went through. So I was in the studio with Donnie and, you know, I told him everything. He knew, of course, and we just wrote and came up with this beautiful song that I was so thankful I was able to make. And I surprised my mom with it, which was even more meaningful. And I played it for her. I got her reaction to it. And we filmed a music video and she was in it and you see her reaction. And it's just, it means everything to me that I could do that for her and just also to inspire other people that may be going through the same thing. And yeah, so that's More For You.
I mean, Sammy, that's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
And I've seen the video. It's a really good and moving song, and mom should be proud of the daughter that she raised. And I think that speaks volumes about, you know, you and your sound. With that, like, what do you draw inspiration for to create your unique sound and style? Like, you just shared that story about your mom, but where else do you come across to get the ideas and to create that the style that you have?
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like most of my music comes from inspiration from my life or personal experiences that I've had or just situations that I've seen. But now recently I've been doing more upbeat dance music. So for that, I mean, I feel like we kind of just pull inspiration off of things that will, you know, again, also off of experiences, but just things that will make a fun, catchy song. And so, but when it comes time to like slow ballady songs, yeah, that's when I put all my personal experiences and everything like that into those songs. So
yeah, the EDM stuff, let's talk about that, right? So that's fun, right? I mean, it's fun making that kind of music. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Why did you decide to start delving into some of that?
Yeah, so it's great. I love doing the EDM music. I don't think I ever expected to go there because I've always been the type to write like the emotional, slow songs. But during the summer, we kind of just decided like, let's switch it up and let's try to do something that not everybody is doing, just something different. So I started off with a cover of Because of You by Neo, and we made a dance remix to that song. And that cover did really well. And then from that on, we just started making remixes of cover songs and also creating originals, but all in the dance EDM style. So it's been cool. It's different. And I feel like it's a good way to kind of get in there and try to get seen and noticed. And then, you know, eventually I can always incorporate the other type of music that I enjoy as well. But I feel like this is good to kind of.
Yeah. And I feel like it fits your style quite well, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like you
yeah.
It vibes with your style and everything. I think it's fantastic, you know?
How do you, when you switch over to EDM, like, how do you get that take off? You know, when it's not what your fan base might necessarily be used to and you want them to buy into what you're doing. How do you get that to move?
Right. I feel like I've switched kind of genres here and there, just trying different things. But I feel like with EDM, it's so like upbeat and happy and it's exciting. And I feel like it was just something new for my fans. So I think that was good. And people seem to really like it. I've gotten a good response from it. My Spotify has grown a lot. My monthly listeners have grown a lot. I was up to 50,000 monthly listeners.
Wow.
That's movement right there.
That's great.
Yeah. So it definitely.
Sammy, you go. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so definitely the streams are showing, the monthly listeners are showing. So I can see that people are enjoying it.
Well, you know, you're looking at the obvious out there. Everybody say that Beyonce, why would you move into country? Because she can. And she has in Taylor Swift moving from country to pop the way she has. If you can do it, do it. And your the fan bases have grown, and it sounds like your fan base is growing by you taking that risk and seeing if it works, and it's working for you. So that's great.
Yeah, I've just been trying to put content out there with the EDM music, try to get something to hit, go viral. It's so hard. Like I said, I'm just trying whatever I can while still being able to do what I love. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about integrity, right? So you're going through with EDM and changing some of that music, trying to get involved in that. How do you keep integrity as an artist in switching genres like that and trying to get it to hit all at the same time? That seems like a juggling act, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like, how do you stay true to yourself, right?
Yeah, I think I always, when I put out a product, I'm always making sure that it's 100% me. And no matter what genre I do, I make it my own and I stay true to what I feel. I would never put something out that I don't believe in or love. So I put everything into each song that I make, and I stay true to myself in the fact that I make music that I believe in, So even if it's EDM or if it's pop or R&B or ballad, I put everything into it, and I just have to be happy with the finished product.
You have a great fan base. Your community's behind you. How do you engage with your community and your fans to keep them on top of what's next, what's currently out there? What's your main way of promoting yourself?
Yes.
Or there's probably multiple ways.
Right. Yeah. So one of my main ways was performing. I haven't performed the past year just because with everything with my mom, I kind of took a break from performing. Here and there I would perform, but I kind of was just more focused on her and making sure she got better. But before that, I was performing every weekend, multiple shows, and just really getting out there and meeting the fans and also just promoting that way, which is a great way to promote, is performing live and getting out there. But I feel like right now, a big part is social media. And I feel like staying consistent and posting videos and going live and doing all that, which is what I've been doing, just trying to get fans and gain more people to listen. And yeah, it's so important to get people on. So.
Yeah, it seems like with the social media, right? It seems to me like you have to constantly be on this treadmill that you can't get off of in a lot of ways, because you never know what part of your fan base is going to be on at any given time,
Right. Yeah, I feel like no matter how much you
constantly
post,
have to be refreshing, right?
Right. Yeah, no matter how much you post, no matter how much you put out there, I feel like it's never enough. They're always telling me, you got to post, you got to this, you got to that. And I always stay on top of it and post and put out music. But, you just got to keep going and be consistent.
So how do you come up with the ideas for just like your daily stories and keeping that stuff up to date? How do you keep running through, this? For me, when we do this is our part-time gig, right? We're talking to someone who's doing this full-time. How do you keep that fresh enough that people are not like, oh, it's the same thing again, right? How do you do that?
Yeah. So, when I'm at the studio, we kind of brainstorm different ideas, and we have a call that we get on and we talk about different ideas and just things that are different. So it's not just the same thing, and people aren't like, oh, we just saw that. So whether it be for a song or just, photos, cool photos, or just things to get people listening and, following. So just keep doing, like I said, consistency is what I've been doing, and just stories I post on Instagram. If I'm out or I'm doing something, just trying to make it personal, so they see into my life, not just professional on the music side, but also my personal life. And so I kind of just try to stay connected that way and post and let people know what I'm doing. So
did you see an expansion of your fan base when you moved into EDM that you may not have seen if you didn't move into that realm?
Yeah, I feel like it's just such a different sound for me, so I feel like people definitely caught on and have been listening. And I feel like it definitely has expanded a lot. Like I said, my Spotify numbers went up a lot, which helped tremendously, so it has expanded. And I think, like I said, going into the EDM, I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but I'm happy with it. And I'm glad that it has expanded my fan base. So
cool. Sammy, can you discuss your commitment to excellence in your music production and performance?
Yeah. So I feel like, I work with Matt and Donnie at the Loft, and they've been great with helping me through everything and coaching me through, the songs. And just, I feel like I make sure I tell them have me do it until it's perfect. And I make sure that, I go over the songs and I get it perfectly so that I can put out a great product that I, work hard on and great quality. So like I said, I feel like we're a good team and we work together to make sure that the quality is great and that the product is good.
Yeah. And do they push you to do the best? When you may not want to it's kind of like I would think of them as a personal trainer, right? You may not want to do the reps, but do they get to the point where no, let's do it one more time. You could do it better next time.
Yeah, you know what? They do, but I'm also the type, I'm telling them, like, no, make me do it until it's perfect, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I want it to be perfect. I don't care if I have to do it how many times. Like, I want it to be perfect. And they do push me. And I also say, like, I don't mind. I want to do it until it's perfect.
So you're not getting like real terribly frustrated with the process. You're just like, hey, let's do it again. And did they ever get to the point where they're like, nope, you got it that time, it was good, and you're like, no, let's go again?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, no, I hear something that maybe you don't hear. But, you know, of course, it's my voice, so I hear certain things. But for the most part, you know.
Yeah, and I wonder how often they the roles are reversed there too. That like you think it's great, but they think that they hear something else. Like, how often does that happen?
Right. Yeah, that happens too. And I think just as a team, you work together and just we all want the same goals. So I feel like we just communicate what we think should be, and whether it's fixing it or leaving it, you know, we just make that decision.
That kind of jogs my mind a little bit. How do you tell us a little bit about the creative process, and like how do you build a song? How do you build like that? How does that come together? Right. And how much are you involved in that creative process, or are you being like led, or are you leading? Like talk about that.
Yeah. So I feel like we kind of like I said, brainstorm ideas for songs that we want, or if we have an idea, and we get into the studio, and Donnie usually makes the beat, and we kind of just play around with it and come up with melodies and start writing and just kind of create the song that way. Sometimes we'll record some of it, see how it's going, and then add on to it. But yeah, I mean, we kind of just create it all together and just let everything creative together, you know, listen to the different music and sounds and just get in the booth and record.
Yeah, amazing. So how about that? Like when you're putting together your lyrics, right? Are you thinking about empowering someone, or are you just thinking about a cool hook?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like I said, with More For You for the song for my mom, or like a slow ballad song, I feel like those are more empowering than like a fun EDM dance song. I mean, they can still be, but I think those are more just about like something fun, enjoyable. And I feel like that was such a big thing for the summer because people want to, you know, go out and listen to this music and on vacation, or like our thing was to like have DJs play it or stuff like that. So I feel like it depends on the genre, and I feel like with the slower stuff it's more emotional, where this is kind of just like fun and still lyrically, you know, meaningful, but just in a different way.
Yeah, for sure.
Sam, it's funny, whenever you mention EDM, I see your personality change. Like all of a sudden you feel the enthusiasm,
energy light out
right through
100%.
Is that the way you feel? Because that's a vibe you get off, that it gives you a different level of energy or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely does. When I perform the songs, or when, you know, when we make these promo videos and I'm performing these songs, obviously they're just so much more upbeat. But I mean, I love both. I love the emotional and the slow stuff, but I also love the EDM because it just brings me out of my shell and it makes me express my music in a different way.
I like that. So we're probably maybe a couple years older than you. So we've been around longer.
Just a little.
Yeah. So we've actually, you know, the decades that we've been around, we've seen how the music industry's evolved. I mean, in your short time, you've probably seen the ever-evolving changes in the music industry. How do you stay adaptable as your sound evolves? Because I'm sure, as you're saying, if you went in just doing, you know, the slow songs, you've evolved in a way where you moved into there. How do you remain adaptable?
Yeah, I think just always staying open to the different ideas is so important. Like I said, you know, EDM might not have been my first choice. Like that wasn't what I thought I would be doing, you know, but when we came together and discussed it, it was just more of like strategically, but also just something that would be fresh and a unique idea. Like I said, that not many people are doing, because in this, you know, career path, like you have to be open, you know, because sometimes you could be doing something like I said, the R&B or the slow music. And I love that, but it doesn't mean that it's going to hit because so many people are doing it. So with something with the EDM, it was like, you know what, let's try it. Let's go into it and see how it goes. And I was so open to it because at this point, like I want to share my music no matter what. And if I love the product, I feel like the genre just comes with it. So
I love that. So obviously, I mean, you know that there's good times and bad times. You definitely experience a challenging time, and in life, you're going to experience many challenging times. How do you remain committed in having that passion with your music as you're juggling challenging times and those pitfalls in life? How do you get through that?
So I feel like for me during these challenging times and the struggles is like, it makes it all worth it, the music, because like, I feel like when I'm working on my music and I'm in the studio, I could be going through stuff. I could be going through things that people don't even know about, or just whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. When I'm in the studio or when I'm working on music or writing, it just all goes away because it's what I love. And, it helps me get through whatever it is that I'm going through. So whether it be me writing about it or just recording music or writing music, it's what I love to do. So it just pushes me through it all.
Bob and I just wrote his biography, which is coming out in a
Very
few weeks.
cool.
Yeah, and it was 6 to 9 month process. And one of the things that I would say to Bob, is his story is that it becomes a therapeutic process. In art, which this is all an art form, writing, music, drawing a picture, painting is an art form. Does your music become that therapeutic process for you?
Definitely. Yeah. It has always been, therapeutic for me. And it like I said, it helps me get through everything, no matter how tough a situation is or even happy moments, just like to have music to turn to and put all my feelings into it. It definitely has helped so much.
Well, as a young artist, the fact that you're allowing yourself to become vulnerable through your music is impressive. So keep it going. It's awesome.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. So you were talking about sharing your music using social media platforms, but you did say performing. When you go, is there a time where you had a performance that's like most memorable for you?
So, every performance has been amazing, but I think my first performance was probably the most meaningful just because it was the first time that I got on stage. And, just that feeling of being up on stage, I knew this was what I wanted. I already had the passion for music, but being able to be on a stage and actually singing the music meant even more to me. So I had the opportunity to perform at the Bitter End. I'm in the city, and that was my first show. And At that time I had written an original that I performed. And it was so meaningful to, perform a song for people that people could maybe relate to and just share that. I like I said, that was when I knew that was music. This is what I wanted,
Yeah. So you were basically starstruck at that moment. How long ago was that first show?
Wow. That's gotta be like, I don't know, it's gotta be like probably 7 years ago, 7 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
It's crazy to think about. But
that's fantastic.
There's been so many amazing shows that I've performed at. I've performed in Times Square. I've performed a lot of places, and they're all so meaningful. But like I said, just that first performance, just that feeling of being up on stage was everything.
For sure.
Sammy, can you talk about the importance of mindfulness and balance in your journey as a musician?
Yeah, I think in this industry, it's hard to get caught up in everything and just the struggles and, it's very competitive. But I think for me, I stay true to myself and I'm mindful of the people around me and the people that are doing the same things as myself, and I always try to support other people and because I want the same thing back, and I just try to be mindful of everybody's feelings and their music and I support everybody. Yeah, just like I would want to be supported.
Yeah, we just had our last guest was Mia Carlson of Crucified Barbara, and she was in a big metal band, and one day in 2016 she stepped away because of burnout, and she discussed that on the show. And how do you balance life so that burnout doesn't happen to Sammy?
Yeah, like I said, music is everything to me, but it does get stressful at times, of course, because, there's so much that goes into it. It's not just the music. There's so many aspects to it. So, I take my other time to spend it with my family and just have my personal life and just balance it. I have my personal life, but I do my music, and like I said, I couldn't see myself not doing this. It's just something that I couldn't imagine my life without. So I balance it, and like I said, this is what I love to do. So.
Yeah. So take the listener through a day in the life of Sammy.
Yeah. So, we usually, we have like a call, Matt, Donnie, and myself. We have a call that we get on and we discuss everything, come up with some plans for the week and just, brainstorm. And then I kind of through the day, go through what I have to do, search for people to send my music to or DJs, especially with the EDM music. And then I'll take some time to film content, videos for TikTok or for Instagram and stuff like that. And then sometimes I'll go live. I was going live on TikTok every day for like a half an hour a day. And I really started to gain a following through there. And that was pretty cool to have I wasn't really into the TikTok at first, but then I started getting fans by going on live and doing all that. So, and then of course I'm with my family. I live with my family as well. So, I balance it with, of course, the music and everyday life stuff that, with my mom, I take her to her appointments, when she has her doctor's appointments. Yeah, just balancing everything.
Sammy, I didn't really know until we got on the phone call earlier. I love the spelling of your name. How did that come out?
Yeah, so like we said in the beginning, I used to go by Sammy Ray. That was what I originally went by. And I had gone by that my whole career, and there were other artists with the same name. So it was very confusing. Like when people would look me up, or they were trying to find my music, and there was like different people with the name, and it was just starting to be too confusing. And also I felt like I was at a point in my music that I wanted to kind of refresh everything and rebrand, which is what I did. And that's when I decided to change the name to, it's Sammy, but SVMMI. So it's just like a unique way of, spelling it. I feel like some people get confused, and some people have asked me how to spell it pronounced, but I just wanted something different. And I feel like it fits with my brand. And yeah.
Yeah, it certainly makes it more searchable.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure, because very, very unique, right?
Yeah, there are some other artists actually that spell like their name with the V instead of, the A. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no problem finding you.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
Good. That's
Yeah,
the point.
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Growing up, who do you listen to? Are there any artists growing up that really got you, oh my God, I have to go into music? Like were there some artists that inspired you, or is it just what happened?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I listened to tons of artists, but like growing up, I feel like Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Adele, like those are the artists that I listened to, which I feel like it's evolved now. I listen to so many different artists, but just growing up, music was always something that I loved. I was just very shy when I was younger. So it was like hard for me to sing in front of people. But, a big inspiration was my mom. Like when I got that first show, she was like, just do it. You know what? The first show you do, you'll get up there and it'll be amazing. And it was. So I feel like those are the artists that I started listening to. And yeah, I mean, Adele is somebody I still listen to, like, because those are like the slow ballady songs, meaningful. And that's something that I'll always go back to, is the emotional songs. So yeah, I feel like now, like I said, some of the artists have changed, like who I listen to, but I'll always go back to those as well.
I'm all about collaborations, cross genre, and we can let's set up because we're going to make this go viral. Let's set up that artist that you want to do a song with.
Wow.
Dream collaboration.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, it's any genre that you choose.
There are so many artists, amazing artists that I would love to collab with.
This is your time. Put them out there.
Somebody that I just like, I love his music so much, and I relate so much to it. And like I said, the emotionalness and the meaningfulness behind his songs. And actually, he shared one of my covers of his songs. So James Arthur is somebody that I love his music. I listen to all of his music, and that would definitely be one of my dream collabs. I think he's super talented. And like I said, I can relate to his music, and it inspires me.
That's awesome.
Super powerful.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what is, in a perfect world, right? What does Sammy's end goal look like? So this is the Apex Lifestyles podcast, right? And what we are all about is people reaching the highest part, the highest peak in their life, or their apex that they choose. What is Sammy's apex? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, music is everything to me, and I couldn't imagine my life without it. I would love to be able to share my music to a bigger scale, be able to perform all over the world, tour, and just be able to live my dream, but also inspire people along the way. Like I said, music helps me so much, and overall, I would love to be able to inspire others. That's my goal. I think that's such an important part of the music, and I just want to be able to inspire people through my music, and like I said, travel the world and sing for people and perform and just do what I love. 7
years since that first show. That's a lot of time that's passed, and it's probably few it's passed pretty quickly. Is there any advice you'd give to yourself, that artist that now you have 7 years of experience that stepped on that stage for the first time? What
Yeah.
is some advice you would give to yourself?
I mean, I remember that first moment, and I remember being nervous and shy. I mean, like I said, when I was younger, I was very shy, but I think just pushing myself to do it and get on stage, like I said, it got me out of my box, and you just have to do it. You have to make that first jump into it, and I did, and I wouldn't change it. I think you just have to keep pushing forward and just be confident and make that next move, because it will help you and benefit you and get you to the next step and where you want to be.
Sammy, something that really stood out to me as you were talking is, and I'm a college professor, been an educator for almost 28 years, which puts a little bit of a number on me. You talked about, one of my favorite quotes is Norman Vincent Peale, "Minds are like parachutes, they only work when they're open." And you seem like you're a sponge, and your mind is open to what's around you, and you listen to what people are offering. But it sounds like there's a balance that, as well as your mind's open, you're asserting who you are an individual so that you can stay true to yourself.
Of course, yeah.
How do you balance that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, in this business, you have to stay open, I feel like, to different opportunities and different, like I said, different genres. You have to stay open in order to get to the place that you want to be. But like I said, in anything that I do, anything that I put out, whether it be a video I post or a song that I put out there, I stay true to myself and what I write about and what I talk about and what I put out there online. I would never do anything that goes against what I believe in. And like I said, I share what I want, but I just stay true to what I believe in. And I think that's the most important thing, is to never get lost and don't lose sight of that.
Sammy, that's tremendous, tremendous advice. And continue to stay true to yourself and don't change.
Yeah. Amazing.
You look at your social media as well. I think we follow each other. You're dropping hints about something. Is there something going on? Are you getting ready to do something? Is something really cool about ready to pop?
Yeah, so I haven't shared this yet. It's something special that we have coming out. I just released like a little hint, but in my recent post, but it should be coming in the next couple weeks. Just something. Well, I recently released my new single, Love Island. It's an EDM song, so this is kind of something to do with it, but just a special surprise that I'm very excited to share. And we've been working on it for a little bit now, so it should be here very soon, and I'm very excited about it.
She's keeping the listeners in the dark a little bit, keeping them on the edge of their seat. Yeah.
Well, one of the things we always ask, and I think infiltrate it here right now, if you want that, you can get the same inside information that I have if you follow Sammy on Instagram. What's your handle?
Definitely. It's SVMMI official.
That's where you're going to get the sneak peeks. And I'm very excited because you got my attention pretty quick. I think that's really, really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, very cool
to see it.
Yeah. So, where can people connect with you?
Yeah, so my social media is all SVMMI official. So everybody can follow me on there. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. That's where I go by.
YouTube is the same?
Yes, YouTube as well.
Awesome. So cool. I mean, you're beyond your years for sure. And, I can tell I've listened to your stuff and I love it. I'm a fan, and I know Dennis is too. And we've been following you, and, go in and check Sammy out. And there's big things to come from her. I can tell you that. And we're going to leave everything in the liner notes at the bottom, the show notes at the bottom. So you can just click right through. Dennis, what do you got, man?
You got to follow Sammy. You got to follow her journey. When you talk about the depth behind your music and the meaning behind what you do, and you're all emotion, you make yourself vulnerable. This is a career you want to watch. We're following you. I'm going to be spreading you everywhere. Just you keep on the journey. Stay true to yourself along the journey, and great things are going to continue to happen to you. Shout out to Donnie out there in Long Island. As I said, it's great connecting with him years ago, and he definitely has a talent right here. So keep doing your thing.
Thank you guys so much.
Pleasure.
And Sammy, thank you for coming on, and we look forward to some big things coming from you soon. And go and follow her so you can find out all the tea before everybody else, right? And she dropped a little hint in here, and hopefully by the time this airs, we'll all know what's going on. So With that, Dennis, it is.
It's go time.